Oh, yeah. I make sure I say it whenever. Okay, we're back in session from lunch and your public works, Corey and Jeremy.
We'll start out with opening the sealed bids for the detention center commercial roofing project. We contacted 4 roofing companies that specialize or that is able to install the Conklin roofing product, which we spec'd in the bid packet, and we only received 2 back. One from VA Commercial Roofing, and the other one is a mystery because they didn't leave their information on it, but they dropped it in the mail slot down there evidently Thursday night or early Friday morning. So I'll go ahead and open that one up first, see who it is.
Inquiring mind.
That's right.
Which you got? Which one is it?
Murphy's Seamless Roofing.
That's what I was gonna guess.
I was gonna guess Otis, Kansas, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I've never heard of Otis, Kansas either.
And do note that they have a check for 5%, basically covering the bid bond. Total in. So let me add this up real quick, the line items. Calculator we got. And I got a grand total here of $55,000 even. Basically, I got 4 separate lines. One's for cleaning the existing roof, prepping the existing roof for getting this new roof and system installed. And then the cost of the polyurethane spray foam, then the total quantity and cost of the base coat, and the total quantity and cost of the top coat applied. So I come up with $55,000. But I will have to verify with the contractor.
They got to start.
Yeah, estimated start date September 7th of this year, estimated completion date September 14th. He's got a 10-year warranty on labor and 20-year on materials. Next one will be VA Commercial Roofing. And he does have a bid bond attached. His grand total cost is $65,200. Estimated start date September 19th, completion date September 26th. He's got an 8-year warranty on labor and 18-year warranty on materials.
Are you familiar with either one of those?
Excuse me?
Are you familiar with either one of those companies?
VA Commercial Roofing, yes. The other one, no. VA Commercial Roofing did the roofing on the old annex building. So do know their work. We'll need to take these back and review them, double check math, and make a recommendation at a later, at my next meeting, so.
Okay. Sounds good.
You used Yetzi too, right?
Yeah, we notified Yetzi. Yeah, Yetzi's done work for us in the past too. Next thing would be request a petition for the 10,100 address of Quarry Road, basically rural water district number 4. Hired Caroline Sons to bore underneath Quarry Road for a residential water line. I recommended the commission to go ahead and approve of this first petition for rural water district number 4.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Vice Chair Simon.
Same side.
Sure.
Motion carries.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next item would be the transfer station charge account application and policy. We really didn't have any kind of policy directed towards allowing customers to charge. So that should have been one of my action items for you guys to review. Also, it's a credit application for customers to fill out so we can do the credit reference checks before we allow them to be able to charge. Any questions regarding the policies and procedures, which I did work with Betsy and Tammy on this as well.
No, I think that's a good idea to have in place.
So you need a motion.
Do we need a motion for that, Betsy?
I make a motion to approve the transfer station policies and procedures.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And here coming up, we'll probably have to do another one for the noxious weed department for chemical sales. So we need to work on that too. So we really don't have anything in place except for what it says on the invoice, so. Next item would be the annual household hazardous waste report that was sent to the state just last week. Again, it's their fiscal year, not our calendar year, from July 1st to June 30th, 2022. But this is what was submitted to the state of Kansas. You got any questions on any of the items listed on the spreadsheet? Down at the bottom, it's got the total annual operation costs at $24,438.22.
How's Jason doing?
Good. Yeah, very good. He's still looking for help.
Yeah. Everybody is. That's crazy.
You got any questions on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing, we'll give you a recommendation for the 4-H softball field restroom and concession stand plumbing. Again, the only bidder we had on that was C&K Construction at the cost of $9,644. And I'd recommend to the commission to approve this bid so we can get those repairs to the plumbing expedited.
Where do we have to take that out?
Oh, it's coming out of facility fund.
Or your motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The next few are just FYI. Sealed RFPs for the old annex building and 9th Street limestone retaining wall tuck and point project. We're going to plan on opening those up here at my regular meeting August 15th at 1:15 p.m. And then sealed RFPs for the sheriff's department, that west side guttering project, get the gutters, go underground, dump it out on the 9th Street gutter pan so we can get that water from just deteriorating that stone wall. Those sealed RFPs will be opened here August 15th at 1:30. And then the county office building carpeting project for the sealed bids again, second attempt. Which I did change a lot of the scope of that project where the majority of the work is done during normal working hours. And I've emailed all of the department heads, and basically they're going to have to close down for 1, 2, maybe up to 3 days for the solar contractor to get in here during normal regular hours. But the only after hours work, I mean, if they want to work after hours, we'll allow it. But the treasurer's office to me is the big hurdle. So in there, the majority of the treasurer's office will have to be done after hours. So, but that bid opening is going to be set for September 6th, Tuesday at 1:15 p.m.
You said at 1 p.m.?
1:15. And this is more or less a heads up. I got notified by Katie Lilly with KDOT. There's a potential change order coming for the C-4950-301 Conroe Bridge project. It's basically an additional 579 cubic yards of rock that was required due to the initial plan detail showing the slope protection running into an existing scour hole. That's a large scour hole that was underneath the bridge. But when Call Valley went out there and first done all of their quantities and all that stuff in the very beginning, that channel's changed since then. So there's going to be an additional charge for that in the amount of a change order. And also there's geotextile erosion control fabric that had to be added as well, 1,000 square yards of material. With both them together, the tentative change order is $148,890.04. That's not an exact cost yet. It's tentative, so I'll be hearing something from them in the future on that. So, and also a heads up, they're having some issues with the piling on the west abutment wall. They went to drive the southeast corner pile and they hit something hard. So don't know what it was. Is it the abutment or is it a boulder? If it's something under the abutment, chances are KDOT and the county is going to have to pay another change order for that. But if the contractor didn't get the abutment out, it's on them. So they're kind of in KDOT and the contractor and Call Valley are kind of going back and forth trying to figure out a solution to this issue. But I think they're going to wind up requiring them to drill it, find out what it is, and then put the new pile in once they get through whatever that hard object is down underneath. So just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what's going on there. So. And then switching gears, Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program. They're accepting applications. Again, with this program, it's changed a little bit. The local public agency will be responsible for 100% of the PE, right-of-way utilities, and any of non-participating costs. But with this, it's basically an interim for the duration of the bipartisan infrastructure law, the bill program, which is federal fiscal year 22 to 2026. The project selected will be programmed for letting in fiscal year 2024, which begins October 1st, 2023. The total state and federal funds for this program will be approximately $20.5 million for federal fiscal year 2024. KDOT will cap those funds awarded on a project-by-project basis for this program, not to exceed $2 million for the project. So this is almost the same. It's the same program that we got on for the Conroe Bridge, but the way I'm reading it, instead of a $1 million cap, it's a $2 million cap. And then it's a federal program, and it'll be 100% funded with a combination of state and federal funding up to $2 million for construction and construction engineering. The local agency will be responsible for any construction and engineering costs over the project maximum, as well as 100% of design, right-of-way acquisition, utility relocation, and any non-participating costs. So, and all the applications and documents need to be submitted back to them by September 2nd of this year. So we'll probably try to do something, but I'll be honest with you, dealing with this Conroe Bridge right now, we can go ahead and apply, and if we don't get it, we don't get it. If we do get it, we could always turn it down. So, but the Conroe Bridge with all of the cost to cure items yet to be ironed out, I guess food for thought, but we're probably gonna plan on applying for something.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good idea.
So when did we have our last biannual bridge inspections?
Last year,
Last
yes. This year is the fracture critical inspections. They rotate. But I'm still waiting to get anything from Lynn Burgess with KDOT. I just emailed him last week because I had a contractor who contracts through KDOT to do the fracture critical inspections. He sent me an email and said, "Hey, we're going to be out there doing your inspections next week." I'm like, "No, you're not. I haven't seen any agreement from KDOT." And that was back in April. And I just emailed Lynn Burgess last week. Said, "Hey, don't forget about us. Where you at with this agreement?" He's been busy out in the field. They're understaffed. He's going to try to get it to us as soon as we can. The biannual inspections are due next year. This year's fracture critical.
So do we have anything off the last year's biannual that a critical project?
Not relatively minor stuff, but most of that's already been addressed by Dale. But I think the first bridge of priority, the new bridge engineer at Cobb Valley got, is probably the one on Old Milford Lake Road, or Old Milford Road, excuse me. It's that old stone arch bridge there. So, and that's going to be pretty costly. I know that. So,
Would that fit under this?
excuse me.
Would it fit under this new program?
Yeah. There's several of them that would fit underneath this program. So, but besides Old Milford Road, there's that one 2-span stone arch on Skiddy, and the third most important ranking would be the one down on McDowell Creek, that 3-span steel girder structure needs to be replaced. So, but if we could start whittling away at these, but my biggest headache right now is Conroe, just trying to get it. Hopefully they can get it, all the piling drove and get some abutment support so they can get rolling on the thing. So. Okay, in talking with Tammy, she has been talking to me about getting some TV monitors in here. And I just wanted to get some ideas from the board. What are you guys after? And request permission to solicit for sealed RFPs for these 2 monitors.
Well, I'd like to be able to, to where we can show the public when we're talking about stuff, to be able to have that. I don't know if it's something that has to be in with the owl, or I don't know how we could do it, but that's what I would like to do. So people, especially when people are giving updates on stuff and there's PowerPoint or some kind of a presentation, that we could put that up there so that public will know what we're talking about.
Okay. In talking with Tammy, we was thinking 2 monitors, one's going to have to go there.
Mhm.
And then the other one, probably right over here somewhere, get it away from the fire stroke, but somewhere over here. So that way, either it should be able to be pulled out and angled to where the commission can view it. This one here could be pulled out and angled as well. So that way the people in the back can see it clearly. So, or both of them could be pulled out and back that way. So I just kind of need a direction to go.
Yeah.
For this sealed RFP. So it sounds like you want it to where it's somebody with a laptop sitting here can plug it in and
Yes.
get stuff displayed. Okay. So I will go ahead and start preparing a packet for that.
Yeah, kind of like what Geary has over there, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I don't think they need to be that big, do
Those are 86 over
Oh.
Good boy.
But I mean, my point was, where you, like that gentleman, plugged his laptop in.
there. Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah. Because there should be a Cat 5 plug-in right down here at this table. Should be. Well, whether it's wired or not, I don't know. But we could we'll get that looked at and give us an idea which direction we need to go, so. Okay, we've been doing some thinking down there with noxious weed department and those two ATVs. The current ATVs are intended for spraying roadsides, and we also use them during the winter time for snow and ice for the sidewalks around the county buildings. We looked into it, and this Kubota RTV 1100, it's a side-by-side. It's got a cab, air conditioning, and heat. When you think about the guys out here in the wintertime, normally after it snows, it's 2 degrees, it's cold, it's pretty bitter. They're on those ATVs pushing snow. This way they can be in a cab vehicle with some heat so they're not freezing to death. And also during the summertime, Noxious Weed will also use it for keeping them inside a cab away from the spray, if they get some backwind or something like that, drift on and whatnot. But we're requesting approval to purchase this Kubota RTV 1100 side-by-side from Can-Equip under the Sourcewell contract. And plan on consigning those the current ATVs that we have, put them on a consignment auction later on when we have our next consignment. So that way we're going to be compressing down to 1 unit, which I feel, and Jeremy feels in the same way with Jason, the new Noxious Weed supervisor, feels that's adequate to compress down to 1. This side-by-side is also equipped with live hydraulics for snow removal attachments. And I think it's about the only one that we've discovered that has live hydraulics for such a unit. The configured cost, this is including the snow removal attachments, and I believe it's 1 snow plow and a broom. That's a power broom attachment. The configured cost was $39,134.56. The Sourcewell discount is $8,609.60, which would bring the grand total for this complete unit down to $33,450.04. Requesting approval to purchase this unit with Noxious Weed capital outlay funds would pay $8,868.87, and then Road and Bridge capital outlay line would pay the remaining $24,583.17. And I've cleared all this through Tammy, so. Any questions on the directions we want to go?
No, I think that sounds
Gotta keep up
good.
with
I
the
think it
time.
sounds good. I think it should go, we should do that.
I really don't. I think it's wise to have a cab.
It is.
Yeah, and
Well, especially with the spray.
Mhm.
Yeah. And when you,
I get the cold.
Yeah.
That drift.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I would think that would look good insurance wise in Cape Camp.
Mhm.
We're trying to.
So do you want to move?
to go ahead with this.
To purchase it through the Can-Equip under that Sourcewell contract.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
I'm waiting on that.
Oh, good God, we need more boys around.
I was gonna say, stay over there. That was too loud. Next thing I want to talk about would be our semi-tractor. We've kind of kicked this around. We visited with Tammy about it. And I'll go ahead and let Jeremy chimes in because he knows more about that frame shortening. That semi-tractor is super long. I'm talking just the tractor, not the trailer. But with all these newer employees coming in without CDLs, to me, it takes a good experienced operator to maneuver that semi with a trailer around these city side streets and even just a normal corner. Because that frame is so long, to me, I don't want to say it's unsafe, but we're going to wind up having an accident. It's going to happen. So Jeremy reached out to 3 different companies and Jacob, 3 different companies, and we've got 3 different quotes for getting the frame shortened. which I feel the overall unit condition's in good condition. We just had the in-frame overhaul done here quite a few months back.
Last year.
Yeah. But I think that by shortening that frame up is only gonna benefit us in the long run. And plus, if we can, with a lot of newer employees, inexperience and maneuverability, it's gonna pay big dividends to get the frame shortened. So, I'll let you rattle off the quotes. You can have it.
Basically, there's two ways of doing that, and the easy way is to take a section out of the frame, cut it out, bring it back together, weld it, put some bracing in there. Or they can unbolt everything, bring it forward, bolt it back into place, and then take the rear section out of it, which is the better way of doing it, in my opinion. So, right now, that truck's like 80 feet long with truck and trailer combined. They're proposed to take about 11 feet out of the truck, shorten it up to around 61 feet, something like that. So it'll be a lot shorter, a lot easier to get around with and stuff. But we received 3 quotes. Master Tech Truck and Equipment quoted, and their quote would be unbolting, moving everything forward like it should be done. $15,486 for them. Then Vanderhags Inc.
That's what it's about.
Yeah,
Plus, I don't know if any of that stuff's additional.
they were $14,871.60, and they would be unbolting as well, moving things the way that it should be.
They also had, I believe, documented in here some potential extra costs, which, hoses and hardware if needed, and all this, some of the stuff will add up to almost $3,000.
Right.
So,
So there could be some additional on that, 14,871.60 on that one. And then our third one, and this one was actually cutting it and not moving everything forward. They didn't want to quote to do it the other way. And they come in at 13,000 on that one. So
And do you think that's the best way to do it?
Gin Manufacturing,
Gin Manufacturing,
GIN?
yes.
GINN.
Out of Caldwell, Kansas. Master Tech Dave Williams, we've done some work with him in the past, and actually that's who the 2 dump trucks that are being built was purchased through them. He actually looked over this project and, put some eyes on it and really understand what it's going to take to do this correctly and safely. So that's kind of our recommendation, is to use Master Tech Truck and Equipment on this at $15,486 for the price.
Well, I think, because if you cut the frame and shorten it, then you got fish plate on
Yes.
there. And I ain't saying that it's gonna hurt the structural integrity of the frame, but it just makes sense. You got, just unbolt, move everything forward, shorten the drive shaft.
That's the smartest way to do it, in my opinion. When you go cutting a frame, you look at the torque and the weight being pulled on throughout.
And then wherever those welds are, you got a chance for stress fractures.
Right. It's a much cleaner way of doing it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's good with that. And I've seen whoever's driving it trying to turn into the
Oh,
yard down
but
here.
I could be taking out some stuff.
you come in the yard, you better start getting over about the railroad tracks when you get across, so you can get over there, get it swung in there. It is very long.
I hit the
but
curb in my little car.
This should make it a good, nice unit for public works once this is done.
Well, I make a motion to go ahead and get that done.
And this
And
would
go
be,
into you.
Yeah, go with Master Tech.
paid for out of our Road and Bridge 209 line. We can fund that out of there, so.
And this gentleman, what was his name?
David Williams?
David Williams.
Isn't he the gentleman we met at
Yes.
KC?
Yeah. Clear guy.
I second that motion. All in favor? Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
They got a projected time frame that could get that, no pun intended, frame.
Well, we've got to kind of work around Public Works as well, Dale and Jared down there, because that is our only truck. What Dave did propose would he would order in everything and have it on hand, talking about 2 weeks to do the total job, once we do let it go, so.
That reminds me, where we at on the other 2 trucks?
October.
No, we're pushed back. He hadn't even gotten the chassis for him yet, so, yeah. They're looking at maybe January to build the chassis, and then he would get it. He's got the beds on the ground at Master Tech, all the equipment for him. He's just waiting on the trucks, so. There is a chance something could slide in slot and get through before then, but he's thinking worst case scenario, maybe January.
When did we order them?
Jeez, when was that for?
2 years ago?
No, it was last year.
It was the end of last year.
Last year in November. wasn't it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
something
some
like that.
last year. Because August, actually, this month was supposed to be delivery date of them.
Yeah.
So, but everybody's facing the same challenges
Oh.
too. so.
Good.
It'd be nice to get them in.
And I'm glad to see you shortening that up.
It needs it.
Yeah.
Did it have a sleeper on it
It
at some
did.
point to make it so long?
Yeah. Well, and honestly, it was just a long stretch frame truck. The sleeper on it wasn't very big.
Yeah.
It was like one of them cowboy sleepers, if I remember right.
Mhm.
So it wasn't a very big, well, yeah. It was just a long stretch frame truck, so.
It's kind of like a Cadillac, the longer they are, the nicer they ride. That
I
was
wouldn't
an
know, I've never owned a Cadillac.
over the road truck, so that's kind of what
Yeah.
it was set up for, not its purpose now.
And in the future, we're trying to work things out to where we can try to plan to be more efficient and productive in the future. We really need 2 semi-tractors. There's a lot of equipment that we don't have, belly dump trailers and stuff like that we could, you look at the amount of gravel we could haul or asphalt with a belly dump trailer versus dump trucks. So there's, and if you have the tilt top trailer tied up, you still got a tractor and you can haul rock, the other one or asphalt or whatever you're doing. So there's directions that we want to kind of steer the boat in the future. So just take one little step at a time. So.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing I have is just an FYI on this moving permit that got thrown in my lap. And it went back through the clerk's office. Just kind of wanted to give you a heads up that this is kind of to me, it's a rarity. But it's 2 autoclaves from Emmert International. And by looking at the pictures, it's like a cooling tower is what it is. They're not small, but the KDOT has permitted them, superload permit, to take them from, I don't remember where they're from, where they're actually coming from. St. Mary's somewhere up there, but they're coming way around, coming down 15 to 18, coming into Junction City on K-18, but they can only go as far east as River Road. So they hit me up. They wanted to come down Milford Lake Road. I'm like, no, you're not taking that, because one of them is 265,000 pounds, 113 foot long. They got the axle spreads at a pretty decent, I feel, it's 16,500 pounds per axle. But you're looking at, there's, this load here, there's 62 tires altogether, 62 wheels. But then on the bigger one, the second one coming in, that total travel length and everything is 179, almost 180 feet long. And it's pushing it at 466,000 pounds. So the only way to get them from K-18 down to Old 40 to Campso, where they're going to be delivered, would be take Crider Road south to Liberty Hall, over to Taylor Road, which they got a permit. They got a permit through DOT to cross the Taylor Road overpass, because that's KDOT's bridge, to go to Old 40, then go east on Old 40 to Campso, which is in the industrial park. So in talking to a guy at the plant that's building these, he said that Campso's in the future is going to be doing some more of these units. So there's probably more to come. But what I had them do, and I think it was a smart idea, I'm gonna pat myself on the back, but in order to protect our roads and our drainage structures on those gravel roads, basically they submitted a surety bond for $200,000. And also I noted at the bottom of the permit that they're responsible to have them, civil engineering company inspect prior to and after their haul. So that way we can get some documentation from if there is something damaged. I believe there's one concrete box that they got across. Other than that, it's corrugated metal pipes. So by taking those gravel routes. So I don't think the truck driver is going to like taking them gravel routes, but all them axles on those trailers are steering axles, so they should be able to walk around the corner without problems.
Didn't we do that with the transformers to Hawkins Smith that time?
Yes.
A surety bond, well,
Well, that was different because we had a road maintenance agreement through Westar.
that's what it was.
And if they damaged it, they paid
Right,
for it.
because that's when we had the engineering
Yes. Yeah.
photos and
But we already had a road maintenance agreement.
that's what it was.
And that one there, if I remember right, it was like 377,000. And that was just the bare bones transformer that came in. So. But they're supposed to move this August 10th. And I told them, yeah, I also noted in here that if the road conditions don't permit, it's going to be parked somewhere else because they're not driving that down gravel roads when we had a lot of rain. So it could sit there until weather permits. And I told the permit coordinator for Emmert that they could probably squat somewhere on our KDOT mixing strip until, because there's a couple of them that's going to be close that they're going to be going by or close to that they can utilize, but just kind of give them a heads up that if the road conditions are too wet, they ain't going to come down them. So
Have they been receptive to everything you said?
they kind of balked a little bit on the 200,000. They were like, why so much? Why so much? I'm like, say you guys drop an axle through a concrete box. I can't build it for $200,000. It's probably going to be 250 to 3 to redo a concrete box. So to me, you put some liability back on them. So
Yeah.
Were they being built out?
I'm not 100% sure.
I can't remember either.
But it's northwest Manhattan somewhere, or northeast of Manhattan somewhere. I want to say it was St. Mary's or.
And then they're gonna put tires on them at Kansas or what are they doing?
No, it's big cooling towers or a water. They call it a tower, a water tower.
Oh,
It's kind of what it looks like. It looks like a big tank. But I think what they are is a cooling tower, and that's the outfit that makes those rubber ag tracks out
oh,
here.
yeah, okay, okay.
But yeah, as far as what goes in them, I'm assuming it's a cooling tower for water. So they just look like a big tank.
Well, I
So,
know Kansas expanded a lot.
so have you coordinated with local law enforcement? I mean,
Yeah.
they get permits from.
They'll have
Patrol.
they'll have their own pilot car. They have to have their own pilot car service to take them through. So make sure, and it's probably because the height of the bigger unit, because it was 19, it was like 19 foot tall to the top of the thing. The first one was 13. That's the travel width. The first one was 19 feet 11 inches tall. And the second one was 20 foot 2 inches tall. So with that height, they wouldn't be able to get underneath the interstate at the
I can't believe they
DDI.
got allowed permit on Taylor Road Bridge.
KDOT's bridge.
And
And that's, you
They
know,
will
might
get you
just
one
take out the
sooner than
bridge.
later.
and in the Superload permits that DOT does, I mean, there's only specific routes that they'll allow those heavy loads like that to take.
I'd be
And,
scared to
you
go over
know,
that.
it may
that
be
big old
from
thing.
point A to point B in cars, 28 miles. Next thing you know, they're gonna have to go 300 miles around in order to get to their destination. That's all DOT engineers evaluating bridges and so on and so forth. So, but in order to get it from K-18 on county roads, we feel taking those gravel roads are the smarter.
You said they're trying to deliver on August 10th?
That's what the timeline was, yeah.
Well, the engineering's gonna.
It needs to be done prior to.
Yeah.
And supposedly she's already contacted Call Valley, so I haven't heard anything from her. but that is all I had.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Still got 3 minutes.
Oh.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, that's exactly.
When are you, planning on interviewing for office manager?
We've got a few applicants. I'd probably say 6 to 7 applicants so
Seven,
far.
currently
Nice.
7.
Yeah.
And I need to get some time to review them, go through them and get with Crystal and
Okay.
figure out time, because I think Crystal needs to be involved in the
Oh, yeah, for
interview,
sure.
so. But yeah, we're definitely keeping that. We just looked at pricing a desk this morning, so I don't want to get the cart before the horse, because we still need to get some stuff arranged and down there before we have somebody come in. So,
Right.
with office space and stuff like that.
Sure,
So
sure.
I don't want to rush into anything, but well, at least we got some interested parties, more interested in that in our equipment operator positions. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess since Keith left, we're done, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Bye.
Thank you.
See you later.
Have a good day.
Yes.
Margaret is not gonna come. She was busy, and I told her unless she had something different than what we reported on
Right.
Tuesday, she didn't have to come. But when Keith comes back, I'm gonna talk about a couple of things that she
Okay.
sent an email to Peter and I, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that Taylor Road Bridge was bad.
Well, yeah, you can see the
The things in it.
yeah, the
Take that
cracks
big
and
old,
stuff.
yeah, that big old thing across there.
You might get that energy.
I'm like, wow.
I know, I'd be scared. I'm scared to drive it in my car. Let alone something that's way too heavy to be on the road.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
I found another pink shirt.
I've got a lot of pictures. I'm going to put spray and wash on.
Oh, did you? Good, because that might
Yeah,
be
those
hard to
neat.
come out.
Yeah. What's that?
They say, but,
I don't know.
what do you call it, where you put it on your sores and it eats all the,
Oh,
Oh,
peroxide.
Peroxide.
hydrogen peroxide.
yeah.
Usually just cold water.
Yeah, but it was still, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't dried, so you probably got it in time.
Yeah, I think it's fine. As long as they don't put it dryer.
Yeah.
and move on. Of course, in this heat, it'd be like the dryer.
Yeah.
That was so weird. I was like, what the spots? Trying to see my ear. So is Margaret?
No, but she was busy, and so I said, well, if you don't have anything, because I've reported, just the stormwater bills, and making some infusions into the day-to-day activities, and if there wasn't anything earth-shattering in the financials, I was gonna ask Tammy if she had any questions in it, so, but I did want to talk about, Margaret sent Peter, and I know he's been gone, but, and I about board members, Dr. Kovac and Teresa, they've already said that they don't have plans to be reappointed, but their term is up September 1. And if they're needed on a month-to-month basis, they both are okay with staying. I know we talked about maybe doing bylaws over, right? And then maybe just having 5 until the end, but I also got an email, I forgot about this, Beth would like to be, taken off by October. She would stay till October. Um,
You're talking about the board of trustees, right?
Yes,
She wants off.
yeah. And then also, Peter needs to be involved in any, vendor disputes.
Have we had any?
There will be some, because they put in their notice. And, Stormont doesn't believe we'll have any problems because Geary Community Hospital will no longer exist on January 1, so. I don't know who they were, but they just want to make sure that, she just wanted to make sure that everybody was on board and knowing what was going on. So I think next week, Teresa, could we maybe do a session with Peter based on hospital matters, so we can talk to him about these things.
Um, 1:15 or 3:15. Or open 1:15 to 2 and 3:15 to 3:45. Press conference.
Or whatever fits Peter's schedule.
Yeah.
Is he gone, did you say?
He just got back.
Oh, just got that.
Yeah. I sent him an email.
Alright, so after the meeting, Tammy and Peter had city, was the trustees still gonna make a pitch?
Yeah, they're still going for it.
Okay. Oh. Speaking of city, so, you know, your desk for everyone's. When I get off the interstate, at the roundabout on Chestnut, and there's all kinds of abortion signs put in,
The
inside the
roundabout?
roundabout.
Oh, really?
So I sent Mr. Decker a text, and I said, when did the city start on, on city property? And I told him the deal. I had yet to hear from him, but the signs
I was gonna say they're not there.
and you know, when you think, I mean, that isn't just over traffic, that's,
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah.
but I mean, it was, I bet there was 8 signs
Really?
around here. Put in a circle.
115 or what?
3:15.
Are you doing Rebecca's stuff today?
Yeah, the only thing I have, and you guys didn't get it in your packets because of a miscommunication on my part. Yeah, I have the annual report of Jefferson Township.
I think I
Yeah.
Oh, did you
got
get it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, somebody came and asked me about it this morning, and I said, no, you don't need to put it in the packet. Well, if you already got it, why did they ask me? Okay, good then.
We just need to approve it.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Pose same sign.
No change orders?
No, that's what I thought. I thought, wow.
I don't sign anything, do I?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's just.
I was gonna say, there's no place for me to sign it.
Yeah, unless there is on this big thing. Oh, I gotta put this thing on there. These are such dumb. Let me put it over here. Now you can sign it. Thank you.
Well, I mentioned to Rebecca about the PVC and to get with you, and then also remind her that about, the hearing.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I know you guys are busy with the election, but I mean, we all have
Yeah,
stuff to get done. And, if there's nothing else. I guess we are adjourned.
Yeah, minutes.
no, I haven't got the minutes corrected yet or whatever, so I'll just do a bunch of them next week.
Okay.
And we'll have vouchers next week.
Yeah,
Betsy, you said you don't plan to be here next week,
I'll come in and do vouchers.
but then if Peter's here to talk about the hospital.
All right, so are we done then? Okay, I don't think there's anything else, so we're adjourned.
Oh, it's pretty nice in here compared to out there.